Hey everybody, I'm Curtis.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Love at First Fright.
This is the story of a podcast.
Nope.
We watch a movie and then we talk about it.
What?
That's what I got.
Okay.
And we watch a movie that is about a horror thing because that's what we do.
So, this is a really bad song.
Wow. Tell that to... Who wrote that song? Is that Third Eye Blind?
I feel like that's... I don't think that's right. I'm not 100%.
This is an episode of the podcast.
I'm pretty sure it's a band called 9 Days, which that might be a one-hit wonder.
Probably is.
Because I don't know that
I
know
haven't heard of 9
Days.
Days so
song.
it wasn't Third Eye Blind.
No,
is what I'm
no, I
hearing.
mean, so I didn't know who did it. I did know that it was not Third Eye Blind.
That was the only band I could think of.
Yeah. For $1, name another band that isn't Third Eye Blind. Three doors down. You can only name bands that have something to do with 3 Days Grace.
Whoa, keep going. This is like, I feel like I'm watching a magic trick.
Alkaline Trio.
Okay.
Fuck.
You're out?
How many were you going to be able to name? So
Hey, I said keep going. It's like watching a magic trick. I never said I was going to contribute.
Yeah, but you said that's it. Like, inside your brain, they're just rattling around.
Maybe they are. You
Name
don't know.
one that I haven't named.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Bands with 3 in it. Earth, Wind, and Fire is 3
That's
things.
not the same thing. Don't invoke Earth, Wind, and Fire on this show.
For those at home who don't know, Curtis does not like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's not true.
Because he lacks whimsy.
No.
He lacks joy.
Inaccurate description.
He
I don't like the song September.
Because he lacks whimsy and he lacks joy.
There are other better songs by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Mm-hmm. And everyone just plays September.
That's not true. People play other Earth, Wind, and Fire songs.
It's in so many things, though.
Because it's a jam.
And the other ones aren't, and they should be.
It's a jam and a bop.
Imagine my horror when we watched Night at the Museum.
Yep. And it was in there.
They put it in.
They put it in there.
Every wedding playlist.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's not on the 21st night of September, the wedding.
Well, it's better when it's not on the 21st night of September, because if you're on the 21st night, then the song makes no sense.
It could be the 21st night of September the year before.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Last year?
Last year.
Yeah, but it would be better. Saying that would make more sense than do you remember the 21st night of September on the 21st night of September. Even if you're talking about a year ago. You would just say, do you remember a year ago?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Do you remember the podcast we do together?
I'm doing it right now. I don't need to remember.
Episodes together.
Can you just rhyme together with together? The wheels are falling off this really fast. No. I think I'm just tired.
I'm tired too. We've been going through a lot.
We're moving. We're trying to move.
We're trying to move. We're selling my house and buying a new, bigger house. Mm-hmm. And
bigger, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
More erotic.
Starring David Hasselhoff.
Oh. Okay. I can get down with the hairy chest.
What's that one guy?
I don't know. Give me a descriptor. Give me a sounds like.
I can't remember his name.
Give me a rhyme.
He was in that one Lonely Island song.
Fabio.
Is that his name?
I don't know. That's a different guy.
I was gonna say I don't think Fabio's him.
Fabio is also one of those types.
One of those.
One of those.
Yeah. No. Anyway, we're trying to move, and so it's just been a whirlwind of cleaning and throwing half of everything we own into storage boxes to get it out of the house so that like people can come here and be like, oh wow, look at this, and then they leave. And
yep.
So it's an exciting time, but it's very exhausting and kind of nerve-wracking. And
it is extremely nerve-wracking, and buying a house is extremely nerve-wracking because you just don't know what you're gonna get, and then you do the home inspection.
Yep.
House buying is scary.
House buying is like a box of chocolates. Sometimes you get one of those cherry cordials and they fucking suck.
They suck.
I hate those.
Unless you're my grandma, and then you love them.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're a cherry cordial person.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hate those things.
I'm not either. I like cherries, but I think those taste like cough syrup to me.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have like a fresh cherry.
I don't like the ones where they put like it's like a shell, a very relatively thin shell of chocolate, and then the inside is like a fairly gooey kind of cream. Don't like those either.
You don't like those?
No.
Yeah.
That's just not.
I like those. I like the ones that have the like vanilla-y center.
If it's like a more firm, like setup, almost like a nougat almost, then I think that's fine. But like,
should we get a box of chocolates? Should we?
No, because what's gonna happen is we'll do what we did the other night, where we were like, let's watch an episode of what were we watching, like Next Level Chef or something in bed. And I was like, oh, real quick, let me go grab this bag of gummy bears. And we destroyed an entire bag of gummy bears. And you were like, my stomach hurts.
To be fair, my tummy always hurts.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think we can be trusted with that kind of power.
Yeah, but a box of chocolates, I'm only going to eat like 3 because most of them are bad.
So we get a box of chocolates. Neither of us eats the 3 bad ones, and then we have 3 pieces of chocolate that are just going to sit there that nobody's ever going to touch.
And then we throw it away.
Or we could just buy like a chocolate bar that we both would like.
It's not as fun. This is what I mean about the whimsy and the joy.
I don't want to waste the food.
Okay. Mr. Save the Planet over here. Nah. Now he's concerned.
Nah, just chocolate. Anyway.
Yeah, I actually think on this line of thinking, I think that our $1 million idea is we make a box of assorted chocolates, but we make it good. Because I've never met a single box of chocolates that was all the way good. Yeah.
Well, I think it's because, like, every one of them has to have, to, like, make it worth it for the people selling it, they have to put in some shitty ones they know, like, are really cheap for them to make.
Why are you making the stinkers? Yeah. Why are you even making the stinkers?
No, make the box of chocolates that only has good pieces in it, and then everyone will buy that, and you can charge more for it.
Correct. I would pay more for a box of chocolates if I knew that I was actually going to eat all the chocolates.
What if we did a box of chocolates that you had to keep in the freezer section because there was a little scoop of like ice cream in there.
Oh.
And like a frozen Reese's cup. Or like, I don't know. You could put anything in it because it's frozen. So
yeah.
You know
what would be sick is if you had one of those little bites of cheesecake and you covered that in chocolate.
Yeah. Okay.
And you put that in the refrigerated or the freezer section.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you do like a box of chocolates, but it's like it's all really indulgent, like really good stuff.
This is like what I'm talking about.
Good quality chocolate too.
I think we found a
box of chocolates. One section is just a full slice of cheesecake in there. You know.
Good.
There's an ice cream sandwich in there.
Good. These are all good ideas.
One of the cups in there is you'd have to heat it a little bit, or at least let it thaw.
Yeah.
But it's got a little packet, and in that packet, chocolate dipping sauce, and then you pour that into the cup, so you can set out the box on your date night.
Right.
And then you just have a whole spread of sweet treats.
I love it. We're kind of venturing away from my box of chocolates prompt, and we're getting into just assorted desserts.
Yeah.
But,
so if a box of chocolates were good.
But I'm saying we make the box of chocolates good.
Yes, and this is how you do that.
Okay, I think we're at an impasse.
You reduce the amount of bits of chocolate, because again, you're only going to eat like 3 pieces of that anyway.
If you make them good, though, you'll eat all of them.
No, 3 pieces of chocolate, big ice cream sandwich.
It's just insane.
The box is like 2 feet
2 feet across, yeah.
It weighs 20 pounds. It's layers. It's like a bento box.
Right.
You have to unpack
I'm imagining one of those long, skinny boxes that you get like Roman candles in from the fireworker stall.
And you have to ignite one end. And then you aim it at your partner.
Your lover.
Yeah, at your lover. And then it goes thunk.
And then it hits their uvula.
A screaming on fire glob of molten sugar launches straight down their gullet if your aim's good.
Right.
Otherwise, that shit's going wide and hitting the tree line.
Oh, you're assuming we're outside. I thought we were in bed.
Kids, no using the box of chocolate Roman candles inside the house.
Oh, that's one way to melt chocolate.
Then your Reese's cup flies over the fence, and you got to sneak into the old crotchety man's backyard. And he's got a big junkyard dog.
Yeah, but you have to get that big frozen Reese's cup back, because if the junkyard dog eats it, he's gonna get the shits.
Yeah, that dog might die.
Yeah.
And then you're going to jail.
You're going to jail for the rest of your life. They give you the chair for that.
I gotta be honest. I didn't really know where this intro was going, but I think we found it.
We nailed
it. I'm good. This is great. Somehow we talked about dog murder.
Which is very scary. And this is a horror podcast.
Yes, terrifying.
Terrifying. There's nothing scarier than dog murder.
Only you can prevent dog murder. It's still Smokey the Bear. He's just expanding his messaging.
I like the idea of Smokey the Bear just kind of like coming up with anything. Just like...
He's trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
He's like, forest fires are out.
Right. Nobody gives a shit anymore.
Nobody cares anymore.
Wah. The forest is on fire.
What am I going to do? Oh, jeez. They're going to take the house. And then a molten glob of chocolate shatters his window.
Yes.
And his dog eats it.
And then his dog dies,
yeah.
and then a light bulb goes
off. He's like, wait, I got it.
Only you can prevent dog murder.
Yep. He never did catch the culprits.
The culprits. Yeah. Turns out it's us.
Yep.
We were testing our prototype.
I was trying to help him out.
I was trying to make sweet love to Smokey the Bear.
No.
Really get him in the mood with my chocolate Roman candle.
Yep.
And it went tragic.
Yep. As it so often does.
You have to sign a waiver to buy the chocolate.
I feel like these are going to go the way of Four Loko pretty quick. They're going to get banned.
They're going to get... Are Four Lokos banned?
Well, Four Lokos aren't banned anymore. I don't know if they were like fully banned. They had to change the formulation.
Oh, it was too fun.
Yeah.
People were having too good of a time.
Yeah, basically. So now I think Four Lokos don't have caffeine in them anymore.
They had caffeine in them?
Yeah,
That's
that was the whole thing. Is that's why they were like such a problem.
I see.
Yeah. So I think now they don't have caffeine in them. So it's just a lot of alcohol.
Okay.
I've never had a Four Loko, so
me either.
It doesn't seem like it would be good. But I don't think that's the point of drinking them.
No, I think you're trying to get as messed up as possible.
Mm-hmm.
As cheaply as possible and as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Or you can just drink a bunch of like Mike's Hard Lemonades.
Yeah, or Smirnoff Ice. Ice me, baby.
Ice.
I like those things unironically.
No, I don't think I've had one. Anyway.
They're good. The white one, good.
All right.
Don't make that a thing. Don't use your little judgmental voice.
You said it.
Oh, as if the white Gatorade isn't the best Gatorade. I'm hearing it now. I just heard it. I'm hearing it now.
50% of the podcast is problematic. And I think all of our listeners are surprised about which half that was.
I'm personally shocked.
Yeah.
You get this guy 2 drinks in his hand, the things that come out.
Everyone just lost money on bets they had placed online on this show.
Who was going to get canceled first?
Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, surely. It's
surely the white man.
Yeah. It's basically a given. Anyway, let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about the
I
freaking
can't
movie.
do this anymore.
We didn't even come up with a fun segue this time.
Yep, we did not, and I think.
I've got one. Okay, hold on. Yep. Let's go back to the dog murder really quick. Circle back.
Yeah. Anyway, we killed Smokey the Bear's dog.
Yeah, and that could have been prevented if the dog had simply danced like a ballerina out of the way.
This is such a forced.
Oh, you didn't think it was going to be forced when I said, "Oh, I've got one. Let's go back."
I thought you were hit with like inspiration, like a thing that was really going to tie it all together. And instead you said, "Let's pick any of the characters we've mentioned in this bullshit and just say if they danced like a ballerina."
You know what? You need to fix your attitude.
Yeah.
We got a negative Nancy on here.
Yeah.
Today. Anyway, if Smokey the Bear's dead dog had danced like a ballerina, then this simply would not have happened to him. And that reminds me.
And another thing.
And one more thing. Ooh, dancing like a ballerina. What movie could that be about?
Black Swan.
No. Wrong. Try again.
I don't.
Suspiria.
Oh yeah, the one we watched. Yeah.
Suspiria.
Yeah.
1977.
The 1977 version.
Not the one with Dakota Johnson.
Yeah.
The one with Jessica Harper.
Yes.
Yeah, we watched Suspiria. This has been requested more than once to cover on the pod.
Yeah.
So shout out to our friends who suggested this one. Neither of us had ever seen it before. I knew pretty in depth what it was about going into it. I don't think you necessarily did.
I did not know anything about it. All I knew was that it was that the director was Italian. So I knew it was an Italian directed movie or whatever. But I didn't. Well, and I guess I knew that it was like experimental in some ways.
Sure.
But like in what ways I didn't know. I also knew about the score of the movie, but that's because I've listened to the soundtrack before.
Okay, so you went in soundtrack first. That was your appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, when your Spotify, like half your Spotify library is just like random horror synth
instrumental
things, the goblin is gonna come up.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about it. Suspiria is a 1977 Italian supernatural horror film directed by the famous, sometimes called the master of horror, Dario Argento. He co-wrote the screenplay with Daria Nicolodi, and it was partially based on, I didn't know this, but this is a little fun fact I got off the Wikipedia. It was inspired by Thomas de Quincey's 1945 essay entitled Suspiria de Profundis, which apparently is about 3 witches. So this movie is part of kind of not a trilogy in the sense of them being direct sequels to each other, but a conceptual trilogy that Argento did that are referred to as the 3 mothers. Each one centers around a witch in like a different locale.
What are the other 2?
on the earth. So the other ones are Inferno and The Mother of Tears.
Interesting. And they're all witches?
They're all witches. So Dario Argento, if you're not familiar with him, he's definitely a core name in the horror genre. He's specifically associated with giallo, which is like a sub-genre within horror that kind of combines like whodunit mysteries with some like slasher and kind of sexploitation, eroticism kind of stuff. It's a very Italian genre. Examples exist outside of Italian cinema, but they're all inspired by this, and giallo is a Italian word. So this is a great example of giallo horror, and that is what Argento like really is the master of. Other people might be familiar with another one of his big works, Deep Red, which is also an example of giallo horror, and one we should probably do on the pod because it's a pretty like fundamental movie in terms of the horror genre. But yeah, that's a little bit of background. And then, as Curtis mentioned, this movie has an interesting score. It was written by this Italian like progressive rock band, kind of experimental rock band called Goblin, and it was also like they made the theme in collaboration with Argento, so that's pretty cool, and it rips. Yeah,
my two favorite parts about this movie are the score, and one of the things that's and the score is also kind of experimental, but really just like all of the Foley work, the sounds and everything, it's really experimental in it. But a lot of the lighting and stuff and sets and everything are also kind of experimental. And those are my two favorite things about the entire movie, is like how the movie looks and like how they achieve that look, and then basically all of the sounds in the movie.
The cinematography is one of the things that the director is really known for. And with this movie, he was really playing a lot with like primary colors, like often like flooding scenes in red light or yellow light or blue light. And just having some really interesting and like intricate set designs. Apparently he was inspired for like the color work and all of that. He was inspired by Snow White, and he like pulled a lot of the color scheme and stuff from that. And I think he intentionally wanted something like that that's kind of innocent and childlike, juxtaposed with, you know, the more adult content, to kind of give it that like otherworldly, unnatural, nightmarish vibe. And it was very successful in that way. For me, anyway.
What is this movie about? What happens in this movie?
So, Suspiria is about an American ballet student named Susie Banyan who transfers to a prestigious German dance academy. And through a series of gruesome murders, she uncovers that the academy is a front for a coven of witches.
I think the actual like plot of the movie for me is kind of like, it's not really that deep. Like I think there's like not necessarily like a whole lot there, but it's how they get from like point A to the end point, I guess. That is actually what's really interesting about it. Going into it not knowing that it's about witches, it was actually kind of a fun reveal towards the end of it, or maybe like the, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, when it becomes like really apparent that it's like a supernatural, like something weird is happening, and maybe a little bit earlier on than that. It's hard to tell exactly when it clicked for me, but certainly the beginning of the movie, it feels more like a there's just going to be like a slasher murderer type character going around, and we're trying to like figure out who that is, and then it like it starts to shift, and then there's a kill that happens where it's definitely not that guy doing it. So you're like, okay, so it's not just that, and then we're pretty like we're not quite in the end game where like we're discovering everything yet, but we're like right about to be there.
Yeah, this movie is a lot of, because it's kind of a mystery thriller, more than anything else. It's very much about our main character Susie discovering the truth. So it's a lot of like you can kind of think of this movie as like an extended research montage of like she's finding all these little breadcrumbs, and she's having these in like what seem originally like isolated strange incidents, but when you build all of it up, there's something unsettling about it where it can't just be a coincidence or something like that. And pretty early on, even though we don't know that it's supernatural until later, but pretty early on we start to see that like she has her whole experience where she like seemingly gets a headache when she's walking down a certain hallway, and she's like hearing this sound in her ear, and she becomes faint, and you know, like none of that is a slasher doing that, you know. But we don't know what exactly it is. It could just be normal final girl bullshit.
Yeah, maybe she's got psychic powers.
Yeah, maybe she's just, in tune like that.
Yeah.
But, a lot of this is Susie having these very strange experiences, not knowing what they mean, and then trying to put the pieces together in time to hopefully save her own life, because people are dropping like flies.
Yeah. I think overall it's a good movie. It's really interesting. I don't find it scary really like at all.
Okay.
But visually it's very striking. Like there's one scene that I kind of keep thinking about, and it's I think it's Sarah, her like kind of roommate or whatever. Like she's got the next room like attached to hers or whatever.
The person she becomes friends with.
Yeah. During her big murder scene, there's a part where she's being chased by the killer.
Right.
And I don't remember if she gets slashed at this one point or like she's about to be, but I think she does. But either way, something like tries to hit her or hits her, and then instead of like, I feel like in like a lot of other movies or like more modern movies and stuff, like somebody goes through like glass and like there's all of this gore and everything. And not to say that there aren't some bloody scenes in this movie. I think the first kill is particularly kind of gory. But when she gets hit for the first time, she like backs into really hard like this window or glass box thing or whatever, and when she does, like the whole scene's like washed in blue, but when she hits it, there's like they've like rigged up a red light, so when she backs into it, it like flashes red basically where she impacts, and then she comes out of it, and then she like crashes into another one, and it does the same thing again. And this whole thing, she ends up like going through a door, and the killer's trying to use a knife to like lift a latch, which should be really easy, and he somehow can't manage it.
They struggle with it a lot,
but whatever. But she's in this other room that she finds herself in, and like this room is like not totally blacked out, but like it's very dark and very in shadow, and then like in the top you just see this window that is lit with this yellow light, so it stands out a lot, almost like this like beacon of hope for her. And so I think like a lot of the stuff they do like that was so interesting and cool. And then I had moments where it was incredibly funny, and some of it was because when it came to the US, it was dubbed. Right. Yeah. And I don't know that it was dubbed in the best way.
Yeah, that was one of the like contemporary complaints about it when it was coming out, is people were like, cool movie, what would that dub though?
Yeah, the dialogue little weird in certain parts. And I'll get into some of the moments that I really was like, that's just kind of a really funny exchange that just happened there. But then at the kind of the climax of this scene, so she gets out through this window and she can see this door that's like propped open, and she's like, I can just jump down there to get to it. But when she goes to jump, she jumps into this pit of razor wire. Insane. That's just down there. And it's really funny because the pit is massive, like huge. And when this happens, like, I let out a laugh because I was like, how did she not see it? But like, I think it's one of those things because it's a stylistic choice for them to do this like blue washing thing and everything like that. I truly think it's supposed to be like for our benefit to be able to see it when the camera pulls out and it reveals that there is this pit there. But like, I think it's just supposed to be in darkness, but it's an interesting thing in that like visually it just kind of looks like anybody should be able to see this pit of razor wire. She just fully jumps straight into it, and then she thrashes around in it in like the most insane way, which is like, if you didn't know, if you find yourself wrapped up in razor wire, you do want to just thrash around aimlessly
as much as you possibly can.
Really get
fall
it in
down
there.
A lot, roll around a lot. Yeah.
I think there's just like moments in it that are just funny, and I do think a lot of them, I think that's the one like visual standout to me that was like kind of silly. But any of the other things that I picked up on that I thought were like particularly humorous about it, I think was because of the dub, and not because the movie itself was just like so bad or anything like that. I think the English dub of it is not necessarily the best.
Sure.
But the best example I can give of it is there's two big scenes for me which got a chuckle out of me. One's right at the beginning when Susie is trying to get to the academy and she's trying to hail like a bunch of taxis. They're all passing her, and she finally gets one to stop. And I think she's saying the name of the academy, Ten's Academy, and she says it like 2 or 3 times, and the guy driving the taxi, because this is in Germany, clearly is not understanding her, because he's going like, what? What? And then she like shows him like the printout name of it or whatever, and he looks at it, and then he says, Ten's Academy. He says it exactly how like she says it. And I was like, okay.
That guy was just being
a dick.
Yep.
So I think that one was really funny. And then the other one was Susie, when she first gets there, her room isn't available at the academy, so they tell her she has to stay in town. And she ends up staying with one of the other dancers that's at the academy for a little bit. And like the next day or whatever, some time passes, they tell her, her room's ready, you can stay at the academy now. And Susie she just says, I think I'd prefer to stay in town if that's okay. And the deputy headmistress was just like, I mean, all right, you said it, so I guess I can't believe you would even,
right,
or whatever. And so that exchange ends. Susie goes over to the wall, and then the lead instructor comes up behind her, and she's just like, I can tell you're very strong-willed, and once you've made up your mind about something, it won't change for anything. And I was like, she was the most polite about this.
The politest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
Like, it really felt like the way that conversation was going to go, because Susie wasn't really pushing back that hard, was, no, you have to stay at the academy. And she would have just been like, cool. I guess I'm doing that now.
Yes. Yeah. I do think some of that probably got lost in translation a little bit. But yeah, so Susie, after her room is ready, she ends up saying that she doesn't want to stay, but like I was alluding to earlier, she gets this headache on her way to class, and she's like feeling really weak and weird, and she's like, she passes by some like worker of the school that's polishing silver, and they have this like weird like deep eye contact, like she's getting some kind of vibe that like things are bad, you know. But when she goes into dance class, she is kind of forced to keep dancing even though she says she doesn't feel well, and she ends up passing out and like her nose is bleeding, so they call a doctor for her. And this is when they kind of strong arm her into staying at the school, because they're very insistent. They're like, no, we'll be giving you your meals, and the doctor will have to come check on you, and you're too weak to travel, and we already brought all your stuff. And she like kind of protests a little bit, where she's like, oh, I'm feeling fine again, you really didn't need to do any of this. But it's very clear that like this is out of her control now,
she is staying at the academy now. And I think it was one of those things where like when that was initially happening, I was watching it, I didn't think really too much about the whole doctor prescribing whatever until it became much later in the movie, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if they're drugging her.
That was my guess, because they put her on like a bland diet, and they bring her meals in her room, and the doctor says that she has to have a glass of red wine with dinner every night because it's good for the blood, or you know, whatever. Some 70s bullshit. And it seems like because she keeps having these weird, like she's all like groggy and messed up at night, so it seems like they're drugging her with something, right, to maybe like keep her in her room.
I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly what the goal is, but to subdue her in some way. This
is, I think, one of my biggest like actual gripes about like the plot of the movie is by the end of the movie, when just as Susie is discovering that this is actually a coven of witches and everything, she basically intrudes upon them as they're like, the American girl has to die. And I'm like, why just now? What has she done really that like she needs to die now? And I guess it's because she's like kind of investigating the one murder. But like, couldn't they just have, you know, at any other point in time just kind of gotten rid of her?
I mean, I guess there has to be some degree of self-preservation there, or else they wouldn't have like lasted this long. So I guess it doesn't make sense for them to get a new student and then like immediately kill her, especially when the police are already investigating another student death.
That's true.
You know, maybe they're like, oh, let's see if we can kind of keep her under control, keep her on a short leash, and then we won't have to do this. Right. You know?
I guess that makes sense. Overall, like I said, I think it's a very interesting movie. And I think if you're at all a fan of like horror movies, you should definitely watch it. The soundtrack was really, really good. Like really good. I know obviously because they like worked with Dario and everything to like make this. Like that, I think that's why it fits so well. But there are like so many scenes where like the only thing you can hear is like this music that is like swelling and like getting louder and louder and roaring, and it almost sounds like I don't know, like tribal or something like that.
It does.
And in a way, but like it's also like underpinned by all of this like synthesizers and stuff, and there's these weird vocals like chanting stuff that's like sometimes kind of hard to make out, but like I think many times it's just saying witch in there and everything, and so you're just like, it's almost disorienting like listening to it, but it just heightens any of the scenes that they're in. A lot of the architecture in the building is also like weird, which I think is like really fun.
It's very fantastical. Like one of the early scenes when Susie first arrives at the dance academy, another student is leaving the academy. And they have kind of this weird exchange where they don't necessarily interact, but Susie observes her and like notes that she was being kind of odd. You know, she's leaving in the middle of the night. It's storming out. She's shouting what seems like nonsense back into the building at someone, and that character ends up going to a friend's house who lives in town, and she is like super paranoid and, you know, all this stuff. But the apartment building that it's in is such a like visual delight. Like, it's got this crazy pattern tile floor and this huge, like, massively high ceilings with this big decorative stained glass, like, abstract piece. Like, it's just so cool looking. Even down to like the doors are very like, it looks like a castle almost.
The whole thing is like so weirdly designed, but like intentionally so that it does feel very like a fantasy story, or like
it feels like a fairy tale building, like that kind of sort of like Dutch inspired, very ornate. There's
another scene. I mean, so it's primarily at the academy. We have the scene there at the apartment building or whatever, and then I think there's a scene where like Susie visits like a university or something like that or whatever. And those are like the 3 real locations we really go to, but there is one other location, and this one also, I mean, all of it feels very like storybook. In fact, the university is like the kind of standout.
It's very modern. It's very modern everything else
looking. But there's a guy who was playing, he's the piano player at the academy, and he gets fired because his dog attacks this kid that's I don't know if he's like the nephew or something like that.
It's the deputy headmistress's nephew. And he like lives at the academy or something.
And he dresses like a little freak.
He looks like a little German prince. Like with the little shorts, but it's a tux at the same time.
But it's also gray because they're not allowed to have emotions or feelings.
Got a crazy
or whatever.
haircut.
Weird berries and cream.
But all berries and cream meets bowl cut.
Anyway, huge collar. Anyway, but the dog attacks this kid, and so they fire the guy for this, which is, I mean, I guess, I don't know. But anyway, but he's walking presumably home at night, and he gets attacked, I'm guessing, by his own dog.
You're guessing? Were you not watching the movie?
No, I was, but like they cut in a way, and then it goes between like a puppet or whatever. It's not the exact right terminology for it, and then a real dog. And so I figure it's his own dog, and that the dog, but the dog doesn't like run away from him and do it. It just like kind of leaps out of a way in a way that doesn't really make sense of how it attacks him. So I was like, oh, is that a different dog or whatever? But then it's you see the dog like lapping up his blood or eating him, and so you're like,
this part I thought was really interesting because they had the shot of the like puppet fake dog head whatever like latched onto the guy's throat. But then when they would cut to the live dog, it was clear that like just out of screen they had put like a rump roast. And the dog was just like peeling back strips of meat to sort of imply that he's eating and ripping apart the throat, but it doesn't really look like what it would look like, you know? So that part was interesting to me.
But that whole scene, he's like in this big courtyard area, but it's just this big like concrete like courtyard. Like there's no greenery, and then there's like 2 big stately looking kind of buildings, and then it's just darkness everywhere else. And it just feels very, like, dreamlike almost. I mean, many of the set pieces.
It's apparently a real location, but it's just how they shot it and everything that makes it look like that.
It's so weird that they...
Koningsplatz Square in Munich.
Interesting.
Looks very different in the daylight.
I'm sure it does. But like the way that they filmed, I mean, a lot of these different things. There's a scene towards the end when Susie's investigating this, and she goes into like the headmistress's like bedroom or whatever as she's investigating. And I don't know how they did this with the set, but like the way the camera is set up and how Susie like crosses the room, it simultaneously looks like a fully built out room, but then how she crosses it, and when the camera turns, you can almost see like the room shift in the background as though it's almost like it's like 2D.
Yeah.
But like on multiple planes though, so that like the perspective, like the camera isn't the thing that moves, like the background is moving instead, and she's just kind of like walking on like one strip in the middle, and it's like really weird.
Yeah,
and
they do a lot of trippy stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and especially like it's so. It's crazy because like every part of the buildings, it's like I don't know that I could like effectively draw out a map of this location because all of the rooms are like weird.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and I think that that's funny because how she figures out what's going on and where they're going on is by tracking their footsteps, and I'm like, girl, right. Good you're there.
Good luck.
I have no idea.
Better you than me.
Yeah,
man.
like they would have done got me.
I'm also just realizing, like, I find it so interesting how invested she is to, like, solving the mystery, whereas I'm like, bad vibe in a country I'm not from, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Like, catch one bad vibe, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
First flight back, please.
Yeah, I feel like if the taxi thing didn't turn me away, pulling up to the academy and seeing a woman in distress, like running into the pouring rain
through the woods.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, because then they don't let Susie in even though they're expecting her. You find out why later.
Yeah.
And so she goes back into town, and as she's going back into town, you see this woman that she just saw at the door running through the woods.
Yep.
And so she's just kind of looking at her like, oh, isn't that weird? Right. And I'm like, red flags abound. Go to the airport right now.
Be like, actually, never mind. Back to the airport or the police station.
Yeah.
Because I need to report something. Yeah. I don't know what, but something.
I'll just go to business school instead. I don't need to pursue this ballet scholarship or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and it doesn't even seem like a scholarship because they talk about money, like they talk about her fee and everything. Yeah. So, you know. She's going there because I guess it's the best of the best.
Yeah, I think that there's like a brief exchange about like her mother or something is...
Her aunt.
Her aunt, yeah, that's it. Her aunt is like really well known or something like that. And so, you know, she's kind of following in those footsteps or whatever. Which is also interesting. Do you think the aunt knows?
That they're witches?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I didn't get that vibe. It also, they didn't say that the aunt went there. They just said that she was like a famous dancer. Yeah,
I feel like the deputy headmistress made some comment about like knowing her.
She did, but I mean, if she's important in the dance world, then
I'm just wondering if it's like an American coven of witches, and her aunt is part of it. But she's like, I don't want you in mine. It could be.
One of the movies when I was reading about this like trilogy, one of them was set in New York, and that's where she said she's from. So maybe her aunt, but I don't think they're tied like that.
Oh shit! Like an anthology almost.
We'd have to watch it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
We might be blowing the lid right off this whole situation.
It's witches all the way down.
Yep.
All the way to the top.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a pretty good movie. You wanna like rate it?
Yeah, we can rate it. I rated it higher than Curtis did. I liked this movie a lot. I get some of the, complaints about, the whole like the English dub and, all of that stuff, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I think it was cool visually, and like the vision of it, I think it was great. But anyway, like I said, scares not high up on that list for me. And then my highest rated categories are visuals and vision. I gave it an 8 in both of those things because visually I think it's great.
I gave visuals a 9.
Yeah.
And I gave vision an 8.5.
Yeah.
I gave scares a 4, and here's why. I don't know that I necessarily find this movie to be like super scary and that I, am like kept up at night or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I thought that some of the visuals enhanced the scares. Like there is a scene towards the end where when Susie is like fully found, like the back secret room where the witches meet to do their rituals and stuff. She comes across the body of Sarah, who was her like friend / like sweet mate, who also had been investigating things and kind of got too close.
Yeah.
And she was eliminated. She's the girl who fell into the razor wire.
Right.
But when Susie finds her corpse has been like mutilated, almost like a voodoo doll. Like she has pins in her eyes. She has like stakes through her wrists, and she looks fucked up. And I think that those kind of visuals were really not just unsettling, but also very visually interesting. Like there's a lot of visual storytelling happening, even in just like what they did to her body. Yeah. And I did find it disturbing. There was other stuff that was weaker, like that scene where when Daniel, the pianist, gets killed, the cuts to the dog eating clearly like some other kind of meat, like kind of took me out of it a little bit. Yeah. But even the lead up to that kill, we don't actually see anything. We just get these like kind of weird disorienting shots of his environment and like the inky blackness like in the background. But we are hearing these sounds, and we're clearly getting the vibe, both based on like the dog is barking and freaking out, and the music is swelling and all this stuff, that like we know something is wrong. And I thought that like build up was actually a really good example of the kind of suspense that we talk about and we want from movies, but we don't often get in lieu of like jump scares and stuff like that.
No, I think that's fair.
So even though it wasn't the scariest movie, like a 4 out of 10 isn't great. I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's the scariest movie ever. But I thought it did suspense really well, and I thought the visuals of like a lot of the gore and the death scenes, like the super bright red blood and all of that stuff was very striking and really added to like the fear factor. Yeah.
No, I think that's totally fair. My average came out to a 6.2.
Mine came out to a 7.1.
Yeah, so we had combined a 6.7. And I think there's a consensus that this is like one of the best horror movies, you know, like of all time. And I mean, it's on our like my poster of like 100 best horror movies or whatever, which I actually need to scratch off that on there. But, and I mean, I agree. I think it is like, I've not really seen another movie like it, and it is definitely a horror movie. It has, you know, some flaws, I guess, but I don't think that that's anything from necessarily how it was like filmed or conceptualized. I think it's just in the American, like, getting it over to these audiences. Right. I think they kind of like screwed that up. Sure. Or whatever. But I don't want to hold that against the movie necessarily, but I also don't really want to watch the original, not English dubbed one, because I prefer things just to be dubbed, so like I just kind of deal with it.
And I like things to be subtitled. Yeah.
I don't want to read.
I love to read. I think this is why like I really like J horror and K horror, and I feel like you like it a lot less than I do. Yeah. Because you don't want to read.
No, I don't want to read. Well, I also feel like for me, I think with like J horror and K horror, I think a lot of times sometimes the horror in those things depends upon having knowing and being accustomed to certain cultural differences, right? In like Japan and Korea,
I mean, the movies are situated in their cultural context,
right? And I think that makes sense. They should be, but I think sometimes it takes me out of it because like I don't have the same reactions that I think in the movies it makes sense for those characters to have because of those settings. And while I can logically be like, yeah, that makes sense that they would do that, I'm watching it from my atrocious American lens and being like, I just kick him in the shins. You know what I mean? Oh, that little kid spirit? Who cares?
Yeah.
Shoot them with a gun. You know?
This is a stand your ground.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly. Like, and I think it, like, when you watch some of those other things, and then you watch, like, Americanized, you know, horror versions of, like, found footage stuff versus, like, J-horror, K-horror, found footage stuff. Like, the motivations, the reactions, and, like, how people go through the situations often are very different, at least initially. I think there's sometimes, like, a common end goal where it's like, oh, no, okay, there's just some weird demon thing in here, and I'm using the night vision on my camera to be able to see, and everyone's freaked out across everything. Right. But it's how we get there ultimately that I think is, like, the disconnect for me a lot of the times where I'm just like, I don't know, I just feel like I wouldn't be in that situation as well.
I'll reserve my judgment. I'm saying you got to get out of your cultural context.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You gotta appreciate.
You're right.
You put on your explorer hat.
Yep.
And view it through your explorer glasses. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the sociology major in me coming out.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say, I think it would be better subtitled to wind it all the way back around.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. If you can find the subtitled version, probably watch that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's out there. I don't know. I'm not sure what we have here.
You could probably watch it. I will say the one benefit of watching it, as long as if there is a subtitled version in English and they have not horribly translated those subtitles.
Yep.
Because that's going to be another part of it. Then the benefit that you will have is that, like, the dialogue exchanges probably won't be as clunky, and it will probably come off as a lot better because of that. However, I also think that this movie, like, weirdly, you know how we went and saw that double feature of Nosferatu and The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and, like, those movies being black and white and no sound. It was live scored by music when we went and saw it or whatever, but I mean, even back then it would have just been, you know, recording of music. They didn't necessarily have whatever. This movie weirdly gives, like, if you were to turn the volume all the way down and maybe if you just had the subtitles on, and granted, if they were, like, okay subtitles, it almost gives, like, a modern version of that style of thing because of the way, like, the sets were designed and the color was used. That, like, it almost is like, and it sucks because, like, you would need a way to mute it so that you don't hear anything, but then you'd also just want the music.
You just pull up on Spotify. Yeah. And you do 3, 2, 1. You count down. You start both at the same
and as
time.
long as, or, like, find a rip of it online that is set, like, the actual score that's the exact length of the movie.
Right.
So you can get the Goblin soundtrack going.
Because you need it.
Because, I mean, you really do, though. But I feel like you could basically turn it down, just have the music playing, and as long as it matched up to everything,
you could understand what's going on.
I think you would just fully be able to understand what's going on, and it would be really visually impactful, and I think really cool because of that. Yeah. You know,
I think that's what I like about there's so much visual storytelling happening that you're right. You could just watch this movie with the sound off, and I think you would get just as much out of it as anybody else. Yeah. And a lot of that is because the sets, the color grading, all of that stuff supports what's happening narratively at any given moment. Yeah. Like, it's not just arbitrary choices just to do it. Yeah. It's supporting an atmosphere and a feeling that they're trying to evoke, you know?
Yep. This movie also played on a thing that I really love from older movies. That you don't really get in newer movies these days. In older movies, people's footsteps are like the loudest fucking thing. You hear them clip-clopping along on every surface in older movies. And you don't hear it as much anymore. Like, and I'm not saying you never hear it, because you still do to help. You only hear it when it's narratively relevant, though. Yeah, or like a very light shuffle to be like, yeah, they're moving through the space or whatever. But it's like in older movies, it's like clop, 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 all the way down the street. You hear them going away, and they're leaving the scene. Like, they're no longer important to the scene going on anymore. But you can still hear it, or whatever. And I think it's one of my favorite things from older movies because it's so loud in all of them. But then this movie makes it relevant to the plot of the movie, that the footsteps are so loud and noticeable. Like, they keep coming up, and then eventually they're it
solves the mystery.
It literally helps her solve the mystery, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it wasn't just there because they're being they're being lazy with their fucking boom or whatever.
Yeah, no, I genuinely loved it. When I wrapped around, I was like, oh, sweet, that's like one of my favorite things, and they made it like actually matter. It's not just like there or whatever.
Yeah, no, totally.
Definitely recommend you watch it.
I'm curious to see the remake. I've also heard that the remake is less of a remake and more of an homage, which might make me like it more, because I'm often in the camp of like, we don't need remakes of like classic perfectly done films.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but we don't.
I hesitate to think if I would like it more. Only because I would need to know the soundtrack.
Yeah.
For it. I think the soundtrack for the original one is so iconic and important to the movie that it is hard for me to imagine remaking, retelling any version of that without that soundtrack.
Right. And or something that somehow manages to capture.
Yeah, just as impactful. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I do know that they kind of went the opposite direction in the coloring of the film.
They did. Which I think is why some people didn't like it, because they felt like it kind of missed the point, you know? Yeah. But I guess that's why it's important to say it's an homage and not a remake.
Yeah. So anyway, but I definitely recommend you watch the original, at least. I can't speak to the 2018 one.
2018, yeah.
We might watch it at some point. I don't know.
No, I'd be curious to watch it and see, what's up with it.
Yeah.
I also know that it's longer than the original.
That feels bad.
Yeah, and I think there's more dancing, because for it taking place at a dance academy, there's a very limited amount of dancing that occurs in the original.
There is. But at the same time, like, yes, there's a very limited amount of dancing, but at the same time, it's not that integral to the plot. You know why she's there, and all the interesting stuff happens when she's not dancing, except for that one time.
Right.
And it was because they were literally trying to make her sick so that she had to stay at the academy. And past that, you're just like, okay, well, so she's just at a dance academy. She spends her day dancing, and then she gets done dancing. She's tired. They make her drink red wine, which is just blood, right? Like,
I think I think that's the implication.
Like, I think she's just drinking blood.
Yeah.
Where they're getting the blood from,
we don't know.
Nobody ever says.
And I give nary a care.
Yeah. And then she conks out. She takes a lot of naps in this.
She's sleeping a lot.
To be honest, miracle she solves anything.
I know.
Because she wakes up from a nap and then said, oh, no, wait, no. She doesn't wake up from a nap. Not that time. She wakes up from a nap after Sarah gets killed, and then she's like, what's going on? And I think that's what really kicks her into, like, high gear about it. Mm-hmm. But then it's like that night when they bring her meal, she's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I'm not going to drink this weird blood substance.
Yeah. Oh, also, one other humorous thing that I thought this kind of reminded me, because this butts up right into that, is the fighting the bat.
Oh my god, that went on so long.
So long, and then she throws a towel on it and uses like a fucking vase or some shit to stomp the thing in the towel. And the scene was so long. And I'm saying about this, and I genuinely generally like the movie. I can't imagine how they went longer on an homage to this thing.
Right.
And all they did was add more dancing. Nobody needed it. Nobody wanted it. We didn't watch it because nobody walked out of that and said, God,
I needed more ballet.
The perfect movie if only there was more dancing.
There might have been people who said that.
There probably were, and they're wrong, but...
Oh, I'm also learning that Tilda Swinton...
Yes. I did see Tilda Swinton is
in it.
Apparently in multiple roles.
3 roles.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, why? There's nobody else available?
I guess that was part of the vision. I don't know.
I have a suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. I feel like this one's not good. I didn't look up like the rating of it or anything like that. And
I don't know.
I don't always subscribe to the idea that like the 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
That's how long is the original?
Let's find out. 1 hour and 38 minutes.
There is no shot they have an hour's worth of more content they needed to put into this thing. There is no way. I refuse to believe it.
It was during that time when every major motion picture was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and they were all wrong.
And none of them needed to be that long. And I'm always saying this. Ask anyone who knows.
Literally, as soon as you hit 91 minutes, you need to be justifying every second of your runtime.
Agreed.
I got to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I have work. I am trying to record.
I'm trying to get in bed at a reasonable hour.
I'm trying to record episodes of this podcast. And if your movie's 2.5 hours long, and then I gotta sit here for like 2 hours to record, I'm 4.5 hours in the hole and I haven't even edited yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so much time. And I get not everyone's doing a podcast about your dumb movie.
Sure, they can't base it around whether or not like it's going to be good for podcasting.
No. Somebody think of the podcasters.
I want someone, please.
Please, no. No, the movie's too long. The podcasters are going to be so mad.
As a member of an oppressed group, podcasters.
Podcasters derogatory. There's a little bit of shame in my voice every single time it gets brought up. Normally by somebody else.
Yeah.
That we do a podcast. And
I'm like, yeah.
And then I have to explain, and I'm like, yeah, me and my wife do a horror movie podcast.
We do a podcast. Nope, nobody listens.
It's okay if you don't want to listen to it. You're like the other 8 billion people on the planet roughly that don't. It's fine. There's like 20 of you out there that actually listen to this episode or these episodes, and I love you and also question your sanity for doing so, but you're here, so
yeah, thank you for being here.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Do you have any other thoughts about Dario Argento's Suspiria?
Not about the movie, but every time I hear his name I do think maybe he has something to do with that cheese company.
Sargento? Yeah.
How easy would it be to come over here, add an S to your name.
Yeah.
Make a new life. You know how
those Italian Americans that come over, they add an S to their name.
Okay, you're joking, but a lot of people did have names and they came over and fucking people, whatever they were, cops.
Yeah,
we're standing there.
Cops, derogatory.
Yeah, we're standing there looking at whatever name was written down and being like, I don't know, your name's Smith now. Like, because they couldn't read, like a lot of names are like that. So Sargento could absolutely have been him coming over here.
Been a little whoopsie.
Yeah.
Let's see where Sargento cheese comes from.
There was like an ink smudge right at the beginning of it. Like the pen when he was writing it.
Right.
Had like an extra little droplet, a thick little juicy droplet, and then he went to go wipe it and it just made a smudge, and the person was like, ooh, what's that, Sargento? Yeah, all right.
Okay, so here's the background in case anyone was interested in where Sargento cheese got its name.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Plymouth, Wisconsin, first off.
Okay, my theory holds up.
It was co-founded by Leonard Gentine and Joseph Sartori. The company name is a combination of Sartori and Gentine with the O added to make the name sound Italian, as they specialed in Italian-style cheeses.
That sounds like a made-up story for Dario Argento to have a cover. I'm on to you.
We're on to you. Anyway.
That's all I got.
That's all we got. Yep. So, if you want to connect with us, we are on the internet. You can find us on Instagram at First Fright Pod, on X at First Fright Pod. You can also send us an email. It's firstfrightpod@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And we have a Facebook page called Love at First Fright, where we keep you posted on our goings-ons. If you have any movie suggestions, like this one, Suspiria, sorry it took us a while, but we got to it.
Yeah.
Send us your suggestions. We'd love to hear what you guys are interested in having us discuss.
Yeah. I'm always interested in hearing what people like to watch, their favorite horror movie or just one they like in particular, and just talking about them. You know, I think it's fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's all I got on this one.
Yeah, me too.
Well, anyway, as always, thanks for listening or whatever.
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
I'm so tired. As always, scare well, and see you next time.
Goodbye. I'm a ballerina.
This is what they were doing.
Pirouettes and...
This is the whole extra hour that they thought needed to be added. They thought.
They really thought.
I can't believe